Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, let's get straight into it, man. Let's move on from UFC 293, as crazy and as wild and as big of a moment that was. It's time to move on to Noche, UFC, whatever, this Mexican card. And, guys, one of my biggest things this year, one of my best calls, I should say, one of my biggest videos that I've really done this year was calling Alexa Grasso beating Valentina Shevchenko. And I'll put it up here right now. I'm not sitting here looking for credit or anything. It's just, I've been watching the sport for a while. Alexa Grasso and Valentina just so happen to be my two favorite MMA fighters when it comes to women. And, it was one of those nights that I didn't even want to watch it because I just knew I'd be too nervous. Like, you guys know this. When you watch your favorite fighters, for me, Max Holloway, John Jones, Valentina, Alexa Grasso, Amanda Hebos, Max Holloway, we can go on for days about people that are some of my favorites. And to watch these guys fight, I feel like it's watching, it's more nerving than if you would fight. You know what I'm saying? I could fight Francis Ngannou and still be nervous, but I wouldn't be nearly as nervous as I am watching my favorite fighters. I think we all could probably agree with that. And, to watch two of your favorite fighters, that's just where, man, that's just that. Like, I remember when Rampage Jackson fought John Jones. And for me, I was a nervous wreck, man. I was in high school. I made my girlfriend at the time skip our prom just to watch that. So you see how good of a boyfriend I am. But still, I'm not missing that. And, as much as I did call Alexa Grasso winning that first fight, and, I did say the two biggest factors for Alexa Grasso that I thought personally, and I still think personally, is her counterboxing is some of the greatest that we've seen, especially when it comes to women's MMA. Like, you guys cannot sleep on her. She's got this little look to her where she's just so nice, so polite, just so soft-spoken, but then she turns into an absolute killer in the octagon, almost like a gremlin type thing, even though Alexa Grasso is gorgeous. And if you're seeing this video, baby, I'll take you out to dinner, whatever we want. But I'm saying, still, like, just the way that, just from, like, a Sour Patch Kid, like that whole, like, the commercial, Sour Sweet Gone. That's what it feels like with Alexa Grasso. She's super nice and before it, and then she gets that octagon. She's demon time. And then, the only other thing that I really noticed, too, with Alexa Grasso that is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you see it with all of her fights. You've seen it against Marina Rodriguez. You've seen it with Valentina. You see it all the time if you watch her fights. This woman's ability to end up on the back or in a dominant position on these weird scrambles, these 50-50 scrambles, where it's like, both are scrambling and trying to fight for this. And Alexa Grasso always seems to get the back. Always. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe gets a leg lock or something. Always ends up in dominant position. And look what happened to Valentina. And my other thing that was against Valentina that was really worrying me is, guys, we see it all the time. If you keep watching MMA, you're going to see it all the time. Whether it's Kamaru Usman, Daniel Cormier, Johnny Hendricks back in the day, GSP a little bit, there's certain guys, I mean, we can go on for days and days about these people, but, Islam's kind of turning in that way, Volkanovski turning in the way. You start seeing these wrestlers, like these quote-unquote, like purist wrestlers, Justin Gaethje, these type people, Michael Chandler, all of them. You can go on for days naming these wrestlers who end up falling in love with their hands, and they end up knocking people out left and right, and then they start abandoning the wrestling, and then that's when we start seeing people get caught. So Kamaru Usman gets knocked out, and then, you start seeing these things all the time with these wrestlers who fall in love with their hands. Valentina might be like the first case ever of, the opposite, the exact opposite, where a K1, champion kickboxer, somebody who hasn't been touched in the UFC, probably outstruck Amanda Nunes, outstruck all these girls, knocked out Jessica with one of the most nasty knockouts of all time. And she loses her love for her hands and starts falling in love with her grappling and, taking safe fights like we saw with Jessica Andrade, like we've seen with a lot of these people. We see her just absolute dominate people when it comes to things. And, we saw it with Taylor Santos. That fight was pretty damn close. And then now we're seeing it, with Alexa Grasso. She did get her. And I think that's the thing that I was worried about the first fight. But after watching recent, comments and recent interviews this week from Valentina, this girl is on a mission. I think this is exactly like, don't get me wrong, Valentina's 35 right now. It's a little older. And GSP, I think, was 28, 27, maybe even 29 or something like that when he lost to Matt Serra. But still, you lose to that one person you don't expect to lose to, and we see it all the time. Even if you don't lose, maybe it's a close fight, like we saw with John Jones, Gus won, like we saw with Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva won. Like, we see certain battles like this, and then the true GOATs, the true like dominant fighters, the true legends of the sport, in that second fight, they're always going to come back out and absolutely dominate. Like we saw with GSP against Matt Serra. Like we saw with John Jones, Gus, too, absolute shutdown. We see them all the time. Anderson Silva came out, absolutely shut Chael Sonnen down. Like, we see this all the time. Like, even with Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena, we see this all the time where these people, like, once they just get that fire in their ass, maybe got a little too complacent, maybe lost that fire, and then once you lose, that's what I'm just feeling. I'm feeling Valentina this week. I think it might be in dominant fashion too, and it sucks for me because both of these ladies are my two favorite fighters when it comes to women's MMA. And technically, Amanda Hebos is probably up there, but that's more so because I'm absolutely in love with her, and I think she's beautiful. And don't get me wrong, I think the same about Alexa Grasso, but Valentina and Alexa are way better fighters than Amanda Hebos, and I'm not even trying to be mean because I love Amanda, but I don't think Alexa Grasso gets it done this weekend. I really don't. I wouldn't be shocked because don't get me wrong, Valentina is 35. You never know what a loss does to her. And Alexa Grasso, you cannot deny, she is just that good. She is that good. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if it's kind of the same thing. I know rematches, usually the person who won the first one wins, like 65, 70% of the time in rematches. So I get that whole stat. But I'm just telling you guys, the one thing I really don't like, if I'm being honest too, and it's something so small. It's kind of like people looking into, the faces of people and, or the body language of people sometimes when they're walking out. Like people were saying Sean Strickland was too nervous, the moment was too big, and Izzy came out all calm, and then look what happened. So I don't like looking into it that much. But I will say, Yair Rodriguez got a really, really nice custom belt before he fought Volkanovski here because he was an interim champion. And, goes on and gets absolutely destroyed. And that's the one thing I'm worried with. Alexa Grasso has been, sporting that, this same custom belt, a little more girly though. And I'm just worried, man. I'm just worried a little bit that, maybe the things were too good to be true in the first fight or something. But this is the cool thing. Even if Valentina goes out and takes out Alexa Grasso in dominant fashion, knocks her out, finishes her, maybe just beats her ass for 25 minutes, we cannot take away what Alexa Grasso did this year. One of the more fascinating upsets, and I know recency bias, it's not because we just had Sean Strickland, and if we look back, you can go on forever, but it's in like the top 10 for sure, or at least top 5, I think, when it comes to odds, like the most odds stacked against somebody for the challenger to win. So, I'm very excited for this fight. I think it's going to be high level. I think there's more questions for Valentina to be answered than there are Alexa Grasso because Valentina is a little older now. We don't normally, this is kind of like the first time we've seen in women's MMA a lady start getting into that mid to late 30s, and it's our time to really see, like, I know Chris Cyborg too is up there, but I'm talking in the UFC and previous champion. It would be nice to see what she can do because we all know women, even though like they age a little more like better, I should say. They definitely age better and stay prettier. The one thing is we don't know how they are when it comes to their athletic peak. So, because I'm pretty sure women are I think they're in their athletic peak a little quicker than men. So who knows? I could be wrong, but still, she's still kind of young, and Alexa Grasso's 30. But I'm really looking forward to see what Valentina's going to do. Like I said, with her recent interviews this week, talking about how she's ready to die, she's going in there, she's only got plans for Saturday night. Whatever happens after, she doesn't even care. She wants that belt. And I'm telling you, I really feel like Valentina just tightens up some things, dots some I's, crosses some T's, and I really think she's going to put on a dominant performance this weekend. And don't get me wrong, I want to see Alexa Grasso win because I think it would be amazing for this division. I really do. We got Aaron Blanchfield coming up. We got Manon Fiorot. I mean, we still got Taylor Santos that could fight Alexa Grasso instead of, Valentina like we've already seen, but I'd also see that rematch because that was pretty good. So, there are so many things right now in women's MMA that this is very exciting. Before this Alexa Grasso fight with Valentina looked like if she would have won that Alexa Grasso fight, we're sitting there hoping that the trilogy with Amanda Nunes happens. Like, there's not much now. And then out of nowhere, just in months, you got Aaron Blanchfield, like I said, Manon Fiorot, even though I don't know if she's quite ready for championship level after just beating a way smaller Rose, but she did look phenomenal. And, anything can happen. We saw with Alexa Grasso against Valentina. So I don't think I'm rocking with the champion this time. I think I am going with Valentina. Don't get me wrong, not going to be shocked at all because Alexa Grasso is my girl, and I did call the first fight luckily. But, as always, your boy Stephen Moustaris. And guys, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. Not only do we got Tracy Cortez coming back, not only do we got which I think Kevin Holland's about to go on a crazy run here with just beating these up and comers. So I'm excited, man. I really am. And we could have had Ponzinibbio. We could have had some wild stuff on this card. So it's always your boy Stephen Moustaris. And let's go, baby. Let's go.